Now 9:18 a.m. on the courtroom clock, and we are here for the third day of trial in courtroom on case 16 CRI 187, State of Ohio Plaintiff versus Shawn Grate, defendant. The record should reflect all 12 jurors and all 5 alternates have returned to the courtroom. Mr. Grate is present with counsel. As our counsel for the State of Ohio, and ladies and gentlemen, before we begin further proceedings today, I had intended to do this anyway. Since we're starting our third day, and I may do this from time to time, I'm certainly going to do it prior to the charge that I give you after all the evidence is presented for certain, but this is a good time since we're midweek to just poll you, make sure that you're all complying with the court's general orders of admonitions and that nothing's out there influencing you. We had a situation we discussed this morning, and just want you all to make sure too that you tell your family members and make it clear to them that they should basically leave you alone for the duration of this trial. Don't email you, don't text, because even if you're not trying, something can pop up that has a potential to impact. Whether it does or not, it still has that potential. So I'm just going to go down the row here. Juror 140, have you been complying with, 145. No, 140 is up here. Yeah, we moved you. Juror 140, have you been complying with the court's general admonitions and not reading anything? And, haven't seen anything about this case, haven't talked to anybody? Okay, thank you. Juror 156, have you been complying? Juror 145, have you been complying with the court's general order of admonition? Juror 131, Juror 133, Juror 17, Juror 87, Juror 23, Juror 92, Juror 97, Juror 34, Juror 3, Juror 6, except as we discussed. Juror 49. Juror 94. Juror 52. Juror 50. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that. If something does come up, please be sure to bring it to our attention. So we left off yesterday with state still presenting their case in chief, and we're ready for the state's next witness. So, Mr. Tennell, you wish to call your next witness, you may do so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And who is our next witness?
Nathaniel Keck, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give us tonight to be the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Oh, you may proceed. You don't have to wait for me to tell
Thank
you
you,
to go. Just go.
You look busy, so all right. What's your name, please?
Nathaniel Keck.
And how are you employed?
Snap Fitness. Through Snap Fitness.
All right, speak up so everybody can hear you, okay?
Through Snap Fitness.
All right. What's Snap Fitness?
Fitness center.
Here in Ashland?
Yes.
And how long you been working there?
Year and a half. Or
Okay.
more. Yep.
Where'd you work before that?
BP here in town.
And which BP?
On Main and Union. It's called Duke and Duchess as well.
Okay. And what'd you do at the BP?
I was all over, but mostly just an attendant there.
All right. And how long had you worked at that BP?
Good, probably about 2 years or more. I've been there for a while. I was there for a while.
So you were there September 8th of 2016?
Yes.
What shift were you working?
Third.
And when does that start?
That starts at 10 p.m.
Okay. And it ends when?
That ends at 6 a.m.
Okay. Is BP busy in Ashland from 10 to?
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you recall noticing anything as you came into work that day?
It was just looked like just like another night. Dark. It was raining. Saw a couple cars in the parking lot. As I was parking, I saw 2 cars over by the air pump.
Okay.
They were just looked like they were facing each other. Looked like maybe there was car trouble. But I didn't pay much attention. I just went in to start my job.
Did you see anybody attending to those cars?
At that time, I wasn't paying much attention to the vehicles I just noticed that there was 2 cars over by the air pump.
Okay. And your shift started at 10?
Yes.
So this would be about when?
Excuse me?
You start work at 10, you're on your way in, do you get there?
So I usually get to work around not always a little early to get an understanding of what's going on, what I have to do, responsibilities. So between 9:45, I usually go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once you began working, did you notice anything back relative to these cars?
Didn't pay much attention to the cars when I was in there. I was trying to relieve somebody else and just go with my responsibilities. So at the cars, no. I just see that maybe there was a couple people hanging out over there, but that's, at that time, nothing.
Okay, then what happened?
A little bit later on, I don't know exactly how long, but 2 people did come in to the gas station. One was from the picture I found out was Stacy, and the other person was Shawn.
Okay.
They were over by the coffee pots talking. I had noticed that she was just chipper. She was in a good mood. Seemed like it was just okay. I believe she was having a conversation with somebody, maybe a relative, because she was on the phone.
Okay.
When you're a gas station attendant, you kind of pick up on other people's conversations when you have nothing else to do. So I believe that's what they ended up coming to the register. I found out she was buying him a cup of coffee, and I was just chit-chatting with him a little bit. Let's see. After chit-chatting, just basically find out she was just doing him, showing him gratitude, for him. I found out that he was helping her out with the car. And then I believe that there was someone else in the store, because when they left, and I watched them leave together, but I never actually seen them get into the vehicle, and I just went on with my night.
Okay. Now, you said you recognized them from pictures. Would that be subsequent media pictures?
No, I remember, it was more, I very familiar, recognized Stacy, because the next day, soon after, the family came in and presented the missing picture, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, she was in here. So, I clearly remember seeing her in there, her having conversations, and so, yeah.
Okay. And then you said you found out that Shawn was helping out with the car? Mm-hmm. Is that from conversation as she's buying coffee?
Yes.
Okay. So there at the time?
Yes.
Now, is there surveillance video at BP?
There is. Then we found out that at the time, there was no video recordings. Okay. It was down.
So it was down?
It was down.
And you don't usually find out it's not working till you go to see it?
Yes. Yes.
And was that also something that was sparked by the family coming in and asking questions?
No, because of the company, they really wanted to take control of what was going on, and so they decided to try to look into it. And the manager at that time as well was trying to see if there's any footage.
And there wasn't?
There wasn't.
Okay. And you didn't see them, you saw them leave the store together?
Yes.
But you didn't see where they went?
No, I just saw them walking towards the car by the air pump.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Cross-examine?
Sir, if I understand correctly, these two individuals who had been at the air pump came into your place of business at the B&B,
The BP, yes. Yes,
or BP?
yes.
Okay, all right. They stood around for a while talking. Did they both have coffee, or one have coffee, or?
Both had coffee.
Okay. How long were they in there, sir?
They were in there for a little bit. She had enough time to have a conversation on a cell phone. I believe she was in there for probably good 10, at least 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I know you weren't looking at your watch at that
Yeah.
particular time. They were taking-
I mean, it was in there, they were both in there for enough time to actually make a noticeable appearance of like, okay, straight conversation versus just in and out,
Okay.
buying your casual
And
things.
you saw them both walk toward the car?
That is correct.
Who went to the driver's side?
That is where did not see, I saw them walk to the car, but I'd never seen them get in the car. And it was just heading towards the direction. It was more of a, hey, glance, and that was it.
Okay. The two of them were going toward the car?
Yes,
And that's the last you saw of these two individuals?
yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Redirect?
No, thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're excused. Next witness, Mr. Tennell.
Call Sergeant Darcy Baker.
Sir, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this matter to be the truth, nothing but the truth, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Darcy Baker, B-A-K-E-R. I'm a sergeant with the Ashland Police Division.
How long have you been with the police division?
About 24 years.
And what are your current duties?
I am currently a sergeant assigned to patrol on the day shift, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And how long have you been so assigned?
I've been a sergeant for 10 years. I've been on day shift, again, I think 18 months.
Okay. What shift were you working back on September 11th of 2016?
I was working the night shift at that point, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Okay. And were you in fact working at September 11th?
Yes, I was.
And do you recall anything unusual going on when you came on to begin your shift?
Yes.
What was that?
Lieutenant Schreffler, when I came in for my shift, and at briefing, Lieutenant Schreffler told me that a vehicle belonging to Stacy Hicks had been located in front of 103 East 9th Street. He told me additionally that she was reported as a missing person out of Huron County, and that in an attempt to see who may have brought the vehicle there or left the vehicle there, they had recovered a recording device from a home surveillance system at 110 East 9th Street. And he asked that I return that to 110 East 9th Street.
Okay. Had that recording been productive to the investigation?
It had not.
Okay. So you went back to the area to return this?
Yes, it did.
And what was going on in the area of where this recording was taken?
When I got back to the area, of course, I met with the resident at 110 East 9th Street that we got the recording device from. And then I noticed that family members of Stacy Hicks, Lieutenant Schreffler had mentioned that also, that the family members were in the bank lot, or the former bank lot, at the corner of East 9th Street and Union Street. So I noticed that there were several people over there. There were also several, it was a nice evening, there were also several other people outside their homes in the area.
Okay. And did you observe this vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Did you inspect the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Chris, excuse me, could you have him pull the mic a little closer? I know he's talking that way, but I don't get it over here. Thank you.
All right, speak up for us.
All right.
All right. Did you inspect the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And where was this vehicle?
It was parked in front of 103 East 9th Street along the, what would be the south curb.
Okay. Maybe speak up even a little louder.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And when I said, did you inspect the vehicle, what'd you do?
I looked at the outside of the vehicle. I looked through the windows in conversation with some of the family members there in the bank lot or the former bank lot. They indicated that they had seen Stacy Hicks' driver's license on the floor. They indicated that they had checked inside the vehicle, including the trunk, for any indicators of anything that may have occurred to her. And at some point during the night, I locked the vehicle.
Okay. What'd you lock the vehicle for?
In the event that it was potential evidence, I didn't want the interior or any other part of it to be disturbed any further.
Okay. Was it your understanding that the family was watching this vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I guess were they hidden it all from it?
No, they were not.
Okay. So how many people are watching this vehicle, at least when you were there?
Initially, I was there around 7 p.m. Calls for service were coming in, so I made 2 or 3 different trips back and forth speaking with them, but at times there were 6 to 8 family members there.
Okay, and they were visible from the car?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you contact any witnesses along 9th Street?
Yes, I did.
And who was that?
Joanna Smith was the witness that I ultimately contacted at 103 East 9th Street.
Okay, now what were you trying to make contact with her for?
Well, I had learned from day shift officers that they had spoken with several neighbors in the area, but while I was speaking with the neighbor at 106 East 9th Street, she told me that she thought that Joanna Smith was not home at the time day shift officers were there, so I decided I would try and make contact with her.
Okay, so that might be somebody that your fellow officers might have missed,
Correct, sir.
and it was your understanding that there was a canvass of the street to see if anybody had seen anything?
That's correct.
Okay. Eventually, what did you do reference this vehicle?
Initially, I learned that she was not entered into our national database as a missing person. But eventually, during my shift, later into the evening hours, I learned that she had been entered into that national database by the Huron County Sheriff's Office. I made contact with the deputy who took that report from the family member, and collectively, we made a decision to tow the vehicle.
Okay. So you basically told that detective what you had so far in Ashland?
Correct, sir.
Okay. I'll show you what we marked as State's Exhibit 9. Do you recognize what's depicted there?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, if we could publish State's 9.
It has previously been published for the record.
No objections, Judge.
All right. What are we looking at there?
That is a photograph of the vehicle that was parked along the curb in front of 103 East 9th Street.
Okay, and you said this vehicle was parked on the south side of the street?
Yes, sir.
So that would put which side of it to the curb?
The passenger side, sir.
Okay, so this side we're viewing here would be along the curb.
Correct, sir.
And it was parked in front of which house?
103 East 9th.
Okay, and 103, is that the witness, Joanna Smith, is that her address as well?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And I believe you said you had the vehicle towed.
Yes, sir.
defense counsel states Exhibit 212.
Thank you.
Show you what we've marked here states Exhibit 212. You recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
What is that document?
It is a photocopy of our tow and impoundment sheet, specifically the one I completed that night.
Okay, and what's the purpose of that sheet?
It documents the tow, it documents who the owner is, vehicle description, the contents within the vehicle.
And where did the vehicle get taken to?
Our impound lot on Middle Rouseburg Road.
Okay. And what time did you have this vehicle towed?
I ultimately called for the tow truck at 11:33 p.m.
And then it went straight to impound?
Yes, sir.
Is the impound lot a secure lot?
Yes, sir.
How is it secure?
It is a chain link fenced area, locked gate with barbed wire all the way around the top.
And in fact, you locked the vehicle yourself?
That's correct.
On that form, on the front page here, in a different ink, 8 lines down from the top, left-hand side, it says asset forfeiture.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
That was handwritten and added to this form, to the master form, and then copies were made of that master form with that handwriting on there.
Okay.
The asset forfeiture refers to, as our drug problems have increased here, vehicles are sometimes taken as an asset forfeiture in the process of the prosecution of that case.
And is that a record-keeping notation then?
Yes, it is.
But this car wasn't taken as part of a potential asset forfeiture?
It is not. If you notice on the form, typically it gives us 3 selections there, and I circled the one that says fees only. If it were asset forfeiture, I would have circled asset forfeiture.
Okay. So somebody in records put that on the form in error?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that notation has nothing to do with this case?
It does
Purpose
not.
for your action?
It does not.
Look at the second page of that form. It says here on the first open line down, not inventory.
Yes.
Is that a notation you put on there?
Yes, it is.
What does that mean?
It means that I did not go through the contents of the vehicle and list them specifically and individually on this tow sheet like we normally would.
Okay, and why didn't you inventory the vehicle?
I did not in this case because of the potential evidentiary value.
Okay. So you didn't want to go through it not knowing what you were looking for?
That's correct.
Was your decision to both lock and tow the car, was that done after you talked to Joanna Smith? If you remember?
It's not noted in my report, and I don't recall from memory.
Okay. But you would have talked to Joanna Smith before 11:30 p.m.
Yes, sir.
when you towed the car?
Yes, sir. I just made, like I say, I think I returned back to the area probably 3 or 4 times, and I can't remember the succession of where those decisions were made.
And the information that Joanna Smith, that she provided to you, did that play a part in the decision to go ahead and impound the vehicle?
Yes, it did.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Cross-examine?
Sergeant, you may have testified to it, and I may have missed it. Did you get any information as to what time that vehicle showed up at that 103 address?
Yes, I did.
At what time was that that you were?
I believe she told me on the 10th at 10 p.m., or I'm sorry, 10 p.m. or 1 in the morning.
10 p.m.?
I believe so, yes.
And on September 10th?
Correct, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Redirect?
No, sir.
Thank you. Sergeant Baker, you're excused. Next witness, Mr. Tennell.
Josh Smith, Your Honor.
Sir, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter? It's the truth. It's the truth, sir. Yes.
Just tell us your name, please.
My name is Josh Smith.
And how are you employed, Mr. Smith?
I work for the Ashland Walmart as an asset protection associate.
Okay, and what is an asset protection associate?
Typically, I walk around the store looking for shoplifters.
Okay. Is there a lot of that?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been employed in this line of work?
For 10 years?
All at the Ashland Walmart?
No, sir. Probably approximately about 5 to 6 years at the Ashland Walmart.
And before that?
Possum Run, and then previous to that would be Worcester.
Okay, so all 10 years with Walmart?
Yes, sir.
And through your duties as an asset protection associate, are you familiar with the video surveillance system?
Yes, sir.
I guess how does, just what is the purpose of Walmart's video surveillance system?
Various things such as accidents or theft.
Okay. And how are the, I guess, are the cameras placed for a particular purpose?
Yes, Walmart has certain requirements or certain areas where they'd like to have cameras positioned at.
Okay. And what's the basis for the positioning of the cameras?
Sometimes for accidents or other times for capturing potential theft, as well as coming into the store and exiting the store.
Okay, so entrance and exits are prime location,
Yes, sir.
and probably cash registers as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. There's more than one camera at Walmart.
That's correct.
There are probably many cameras.
That's correct.
Are they all connected to the same system?
Yes, sir.
Are you trained on that system?
Yes, sir.
Over your 10 years of working for Walmart, has the system changed?
Not really, no.
Okay. So for the last 10 years, you've been working with the same system?
For the most part, there's two different DVR systems with the software, but essentially the idea is the same.
Okay. And is it the same at each store?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you trained on how to access that video?
Yes, sir.
Is that video stored
Yes.
by Walmart?
Yes, sir.
And then is that video kept in the normal course of business?
Yes, sir.
And do you use it on behalf of Walmart in your duties?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you actively monitor the surveillance system?
As far as sitting down and just watching it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you have a location in the store then, I take it, that has some monitors and you can sit there and watch what's going on in the store.
Yes, sir.
Is that how you go about catching shoplifters?
Typically for that, I walk on the sales floor. Video camera coverage is basically to look back on to gain additional evidence, or if something occurred while I was not there that we could gain evidence from.
Okay, so you're not following people around back in a monitored location.
No, sir.
You're actually kind of sneaking around between the aisles.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In your duties over the last 10 years, have you had occasion to, I guess, download some of this video?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes is that video downloaded at the request of local law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
It would be true, wouldn't it, if we said that sometimes law enforcement knows something happened at Walmart and brings it to your attention?
Yes, sir.
So you don't always catch everything.
No, sir.
Sometimes it leads back to Walmart.
Correct.
Okay. And then you're I guess you're probably not the only asset protection associate.
Myself and then who would usually be my boss.
Okay. And so there'd be two of you with access to that system?
That's correct.
Does your system allow you to bring up receipts?
Camera system, not so much. I mean, I can review that after finding the transaction, but there's another system where we can pull up transactions through.
Right, it's not linked to the video.
Correct.
But if somebody was in the store and came through a register and paid at a particular time and date, you have the ability then to go back and look through and see if you can't find that transaction summary.
Yes, sir.
And then that transaction summary, through your job duties, you also have the ability, I guess, to print that out?
Yes, sir.
And you've done that in the past?
Yes, sir.
And provide same to law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
Did the Ashland Police Department come to you looking for video of an individual that would have been taken around September 8th, 2016?
Yes, sir.
Who were they looking for, if you know?
There was a female subject that possibly might have come into the store, and he asked if we could look to see if the individual did in fact come to our store. Upon reviewing video, I was able to find the individual in question and provide video to the law enforcement officer.
And how were you able to find the particular video of this one individual?
Typically with something where we don't know an exact time or even the possibility of whether they came or not, or if they had come, I usually typically will watch the door shots to try and find at what point, if they came to the store at all. And I believe I was provided with a window of time to try and find if that person came to the store.
And then does that also allow you to look at the video, and if you find that person, get a time and find the transaction summary?
Yes, sir.
For that individual as well?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to find video of this particular individual?
Yes, sir.
So what information were you provided when you began your search?
Initially, if I recall correctly, I'm not sure about the time frame, but I know I was given relatively within a probably 2 to 3 hour time frame, possibly maybe an hour, to try and find who arrived at the store or if the individual arrived at the store. And I was able to find that person entering the store.
And then when you found that person, were you able to download bits of the video surveillance?
Yes, sir.
Just one or more than one?
There was multiple clips, not a lot, but 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere in that area.
Was there also a vehicle involved?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to find that footage as well?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, it's been marked as State's Exhibit 213.
Okay, got it.
I'll show you State's Exhibit 213 and ask you if you recognize that.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
This would be the video that contains, or the disc that contains the video clips from our store showing the individual coming to our store and purchasing items.
And how can you be so sure that that is the disc that contains those videos?
It has my initials on it.
Okay, so you were able to review the contents of that disc prior to coming here today?
Yes, sir.
And is the contents of that disc accurate?
Yes, sir.
And does it accurately record the goings-on at your store on September 8, 2016?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, are those video clips contained on that CD the same ones that you downloaded at the request of the Ashland Police?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I ask for permission to play the video clips contained in State's 213.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge, thank you.
And you may.
Should come up on the little screen next to you there. So just before we get going here, what are we looking at there?
This particular camera shot is kind of an overall shooting across the entrance and exit way in the garden center.
And this is part of the clips that you downloaded?
Yes, sir.
And does this system also record the date and time of the video?
Yes, sir.
And what is the date and time reference this clip?
Particular time would be September 8th, 2016 at 6:41 PM.
All right, the woman we saw just go out the door, is that the subject that you were looking for?
Yes, sir.
And what area does she go to from that door?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure in the sequence of this clip, but it appears she may be going to gather it appears in that situation, that timeline of these clips, that she's probably going outside to gain additional items to purchase, lawn and garden items.
And in September at the Walmart, there's product outside in the parking lot area.
Yes, sir.
What's typically kept out there?
At times, we'll have a cordoned off area in the parking lot with possibly trees and stuff like that. At the time of this situation, I can't recall if that was the case, but there's usually merchandise along the sidewalks and even along the side of the building as well.
And somebody would go out and get, come back in with that.
Yes, sir.
And that was, for the record, clip 3. Draw your attention to clip 4. And ask, is there a date and time associated with that?
The date is listed September 8th, 2016 at 6:53 PM.
And that appears to be the same woman as in clip 3?
Yes, sir.
And this will be a few minutes later after she went outside.
That's correct.
Draw your attention to clip 5. And what does clip 5 depict?
This would be the checkout process for the customer purchasing the item she selected on the cart there.
And what time did this take place?
Also on September 8th, 2016 at 6:54 PM.
All right, now from that video, are you then able to locate a transaction summary?
Yes, sir.
Show Defense Counsel States Exhibit 214. Show you what we marked as States Exhibit 214. You recognize that piece of paper with the excessively small print?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
This is a journal showing the transaction that took place at the register.
So is that basically the computerized printout that would be generated as a result of this transaction?
That's correct.
And what time is on that receipt?
The time listed is 18:55:39,
Which would be what time?
6:55:39.
Okay. PM.
Correct.
And does that list, what information is contained on that?
The list shows items that she had purchased or rung up at the register.
And what did she buy?
Topsoil, the CRV Skal Red, which would be those red brick blocks for gardening. And the top one is listed as SC3, SHRD, 5 of those. I am not sure what that specifically is based on that description, but it would have been one of the items or the items that were scanned at the register.
Okay. And from the video, it appears she's buying pretty much all landscaping.
That's correct.
Does it give a quantity on the page?
For the red stones, 36, and the other item of the SC3, SHRD would be 5 of those, and the topsoil appears to be 1.
Okay, so, and then from her card, it looks like she's got bags of something or other,
Yes, sir.
and then those red papers on the bottom.
Yes, sir.
And 214 then is the document that you generated when you saw the video where you would print this out?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to draw your attention back to State's Exhibit 213. Look here, what's labeled as clip 1. What does this view depict?
Some of the aisles over in the general merchandise side or closer towards the garden center side.
Okay, and what time would this be?
6:29 p.m.
Okay. Now, you said that you were able to locate the vehicle as well?
Yes, sir.
I know it's labeled clip 1, but then this would be the first clip in the series once you put it together.
Yes, sir.
So it's 6:29 then, pretty much approximately the time we first see this vehicle we're interested in.
Yes, sir.
If you can, point it out to us when you see it.
I believe it should be the car that went around the top there and is coming down.
Coming down the aisle right now.
That's correct.
They're on the left side of the video.
That's correct.
Draw your attention to clip 2. What does clip 2 depict?
This clip should show the customer parking,
And what time is this?
6:29 p.m.
And is that the vehicle moving there in the center of the image?
Yes, sir.
walking there in the image is the woman that was of interest.
Yes, sir.
And she would be walking into what becomes clip 3 that we saw when we started.
Yes, sir.
And clip 6, the last clip here is at what time?
6:56 PM.
And the woman that just exited, is that the woman we're interested in?
Yes, sir.
stopping the clip at that point, what time is marked in the system?
7:01 PM.
And after this event, she didn't return to the store?
That's correct.
So she left at 7:01 p.m.
That's correct.
on September. These 6 clips that we've seen contained within Exhibit 213, they accurate depictions of your store?
Yes, sir.
And you downloaded them and preserved them in the normal course of your business activity
Yes, sir.
and pursuant to your duties as an employee of Walmart?
Yes, sir.
With reference States Exhibit 214, is the information contained in this document accurate?
Yes, sir.
And is it also kept in the regular course of business activity for Walmart?
Yes, sir.
And you have access to that information as part of your regular job duties?
Yes, sir.
And pursuant to your regular job duties, you downloaded that information and were able to print it out so that we could have Exhibit 214?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Nothing further.
Cross-examine.
I have no questions of this witness, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, you're excused. Next witness, Mr. Tennell.
Son Fan Fan. I'll have him spell that for me. Sonny.
Sir, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this matter to be the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, forever.
Okay.
All right. Could you tell us your name, please?
My name is Shawn S.O.N.
And if you-
Last name Fan, P.H.A.N.
Okay. Could you spell that, please?
P.H.A.N.
Okay. P-H-A-N?
Yes, sir.
And your first name?
S.O.N.
And spell that, please.
S.O.N.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Do they know you better as Sonny?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do for a living, Sonny?
I do nail.
And how long have you done that?
About 20 years.
And have you done nails at the same location for 20 years?
Different location.
And where are you currently?
The second location is like 10 years. The shop I work in right now.
Okay. And what's it called?
Nail 2.
And where is that?
Across from Walmart. Super
Okay.
Walmart, yes.
In Ashland?
Yes, in Ashland.
All right. And I think you told us about 10 years at that location?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what sort of services does Nails 2 provide?
Excuse me?
What sort of things does Nails 2 do? What can you have done there?
We just do nail and pedicure, something like that.
Okay. And do you own that, or do you work for somebody?
Yes, sir.
You're
I own it.
you're the owner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you familiar with Stacy Hicks? Also goes by Stacy Stanley?
She actually, I did her nail like a couple of times.
Okay. Do you recall, it's been a while since you've done her nails then, as you're here?
It's not. So, maybe second time I did her nail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would have been in September of 2016?
Yes, sir.
Does Nails 2 have a surveillance system?
Yes, sir.
And how does that surveillance system work?
We can call any customer when they get there in case what happened.
Okay. And there's a video camera then?
Yes, sir.
And it records what happens?
Yeah, we just keep record like every customer coming and in and out.
And I'm going to show defense counsel what we marked as State's Exhibit 215. I'll show you State's Exhibit 215. Do you recognize that picture?
Yes, sir.
What is that a picture
This picture, I believe, this is the time she left the shop.
Okay, the time she was in your shop?
Actually, I think the time she leaving.
Okay, is there a time depicted in that?
I'm not sure the time, but I believe it's she the last one in the shop. About, I believe, about like 8:15.
Okay.
Because most we close at 8 o'clock, but she been there that night be late.
Had she been there earlier in the afternoon?
No, sir. When she got in my shop, I believe about maybe 6 o'clock, somewhere there.
Okay.
So we busy that time. So I told her about an hour waiting. Then she just go to Walmart somewhere. I'm not sure where she going. Then she come back after hour after that. But when she come back, we still busy. So she wait like 10, 15 minutes more before I did her nail.
Okay, so what time do you think you started the nails? Maybe 7:15 or so?
I believe so, about 7,
And how
7:15.
long did it take to do her nails?
Maybe an hour.
And what was she having done?
She just put the new nail on,
Okay,
and she put the polish on.
and so they weren't her nails, they're what, acrylic nails that
Yes, sir.
go on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you recall the color?
I believe she got a dark color, like burgundy dark, something like that.
Okay, so burgundy,
Yeah, it look like black, burgundy dark,
really dark.
very dark
And
color.
that takes about an hour?
Yes, sir.
And you closed at 8?
Yes.
So this would have been after closing hours that you finished up?
Yeah, I finished her and she have to sit and dry her polish. So I believe about 8:15, 8:15, 8:10 o'clock, 8:10, something like that.
Now that Exhibit 215, that's a picture of your surveillance monitor, isn't it?
Yes, yes, sir.
And were you able to actually download the video?
No, so I don't know any happened. The camera in there, then by the time 2 officers come to look it up, and they run out, maybe the time is not right time because my camera, the power went up all the time, so that's how the time is not correctly.
Okay, so we can't necessarily trust the time on
Yeah, we can trust the time on the camera.
but you can trust the picture.
Yes,
And did one of the police officers take a picture of your video
yes.
TV there?
Yes, it's
And
the,
that's what 215 is.
yeah, yes.
If we could publish that exhibit, Shawn.
Any objection?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, we'll wait for it to come up. There's same pictures on the screen here behind you and next to you.
Yeah,
I'll
that's,
draw your attention to this guy.
this is
You're working at the
that's a smile.
Okay, that's you?
Yeah,
And who's that walking past you?
that's her.
Okay, that's Stacy.
Yeah, that's Tracy.
And then, let's see it on there. I think it's kind of hard, let's see, across the top here, maybe you can see it better along here.
Yeah, but
That's September 8th, is it not? The date? Is it easier to see here?
yeah, sorry, I can see
That's
it.
all. Okay, but there's a date on there and a time.
Yeah,
You said, don't trust the time.
yeah, because we lost power all the time, so maybe the time is not correctly on the.
Is the date generally correct?
I don't.
Not sure.
I'm not sure. Yes.
All right. But she was there earlier, you busy?
Yes,
told her
sir.
to come back or wait? And
Yes.
she did, and took about an hour from that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it's your recollection, 8:15 or so she left?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Because she the last one. The picture there, that's mine because after she already leaving, and I close the credit card machine, something like that.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Cross-examine, Mr. Whitney?
No, Judge, I have no questions, thank you.
Thank you. You're excused, sir. You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next witness, Mr. Tennell.
Joanna Smith, Your Honor.
We'll probably take a break after this witness.
Ma'am, do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter to be the truth, nothing but the truth? Have a seat here.
Okay. Is that good?
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Joanna Smith.
Joanna, speak up for us, okay, so that everybody can hear. Do you work?
No, I don't.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live on 9th Street
And was
in
there-
Ashland.
In Ashland? Mm-hmm. And was there a time back in September of 2016, the police knocked on your door, specifically a Sergeant Baker?
Yes, they did.
And what did Sergeant Baker want to know about?
He wanted to know about the car that was parked on the street.
Okay. And what kind of car was parked on the street?
I don't remember the name of it. I mean, I just remember seeing the picture of it.
Okay. Let me show you what we marked as State's Exhibit 9.
Yep, that's it.
That's the car?
Yep.
Okay. Was that car regularly parked on your street, or
It was parked on my street.
when did it get there?
I think it was around maybe sometime in the evening, at nighttime.
Okay. When in relation to when Sergeant Baker came to talk to you?
Not for sure on the time.
Well, I know that not the time, but the day.
The day,
I mean, was it the day before, 2 days?
I think it might have been the same day or the next day, not for sure.
Okay. But at night?
Yeah,
And at the time, well, let me go back. Do you recall seeing this car parked?
yeah, it was, the lights was on. It
Tell
was,
us about
it
it.
was running. The car
What-
was running.
Okay, what happened?
Then I looked at, on my window of my bedroom and
And
seen
what-
it out there,
What made you look out the window of your bedroom?
because I thought it was somebody I knew.
Okay. And about what time do you think this was?
Probably about 9 or 10, maybe 11, maybe,
In the evening?
nighttime.
Okay, so it's nighttime. Is the
Lights were on.
street lights are on? And you're able to see the street then?
Yep,
Your house on 9th Street is not very far back from the street?
no, it's not very far at all.
Okay. And where did this car park in relation to your bedroom window?
Right in front.
Right in front? Mm-hmm. Did you actually see the car pull up, or,
I seen the car pull up,
okay?
and it
what
was sitting there
happened?
with the lights on.
And how
parked.
long did it sit there?
About 10, 15 minutes.
And then what happened?
And then I just sat there and watched.
Okay?
And then the person got out of the vehicle and then walked down the sidewalk.
How many people got out of the
Just
vehicle?
one,
And describe this person.
tall, medium built,
Male,
short brown
female?
hair. Male,
Male?
male.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I think I talked over your, what color hair?
Brown.
Okay? Got out alone.
Yep.
Did you recognize this individual?
Looked familiar.
Okay. But you didn't know who that was?
Don't know. Didn't
Okay.
know.
Didn't know. And where'd this male go?
Down the sidewalk, walking.
Which direction?
Union Street.
Towards Union?
Yep.
Okay. And then, did you notice the vehicle move after that
Nope. He got out and turned it off and walked.
and walked away?
Mm-hmm. That was it.
And is that the first time you'd seen this car pull up?
Yep.
And did you ever see it again?
Nope.
And you hadn't seen this male before?
Yeah, I remember seeing, as soon as they talked about it, pulled it up on media.
So
Seen
after
the picture.
that,
I seen the
there were
picture.
pictures and things?
Yeah,
And did you recognize
yeah,
the pictures as the person?
yeah, yeah.
What was this person in the newspaper
For killing people.
for? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you catch a name of this person?
Yeah, they put his name on media.
And you what was the name on the media?
They said Shawn Gates.
Okay, and you recognized the individual as the individual that got out of the vehicle,
Yeah.
but you didn't know who he was at the time?
I remember seeing his face at Save-A-Lot.
Okay, you shop at Save-A-Lot?
Yep,
What
all the
was-
time.
What was he doing at Save-A-Lot?
Just looking around.
Okay. And did you make that association at the time?
Yep, that's when I put face, at that time, to that face. That's when I
When he got out
recognized
of the
him.
car or when you saw the newspaper?
When I seen the newspaper, that's when
Okay.
I remember seeing him at Save-A-Lot.
So he'd been at Save-A-Lot?
Yeah.
When was he at Save-A-Lot in relation to when he parked in front of your house?
I don't remember. That's been a while.
I mean, did your recollection? Okay,
I
you don't
know.
remember.
I just shop there and, I don't know.
Do you regularly recognize these folks, or did there something draw your attention to him? Or?
It's a small town. It's hard not to recognize anybody.
Okay. Do you usually see people you know in Save-A-Lot?
Yeah, I do. But I'm pretty good at faces.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mhm.
And that's a face you recognized subsequent to seeing him get out of
Yep.
the car? Okay. You're sure about that?
Yep.
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Cross?
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, when you saw this car pull up, were you already looking out your window?
I seen headlights, and that's when I looked.
Dark headlights were on?
The lights was on.
Okay. And the street light, where's the street light located from your house?
I think it's on the left. I think it's on the left of my house.
I still didn't hear you.
It's on the left of my house.
Okay, right close?
Yeah, real close.
Now, when you saw this individual get out, what side of the car did he get out of?
In the road. In the road, left side,
Would have been driver's side?
driver's side,
passenger
driver's side.
Now, you had a good look at this person?
Yeah,
And did it come to your mind as you're staring out the upstairs window?
mm-hmm,
Okay. You're looking down on the car?
yeah.
Okay. And is this person facing you when he gets out of the car?
No, I can see side of his face. I can see the side of his face.
Side of his
Mhm.
face? Did he ever turn and look up the window at you
No,
like that?
no.
Okay. So you recognized him from the side of his face?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Okay.
that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you recognized him from the side of his face, as you looked out your upstairs window, did you say to yourself at that time, that's that guy from Save-A-Lot?
I just said he looks familiar.
Looked familiar?
Yeah, he looks
By
familiar.
the side of his face?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you recognize him then later?
Because they put him in the media when they put it out
The side
there.
of his face?
No, because I remember seeing him at Save-A-Lot, so I was like, well, that's the person from Save-A-Lot when they put him on.
No, I say that they put the side of his face on.
No, it was his whole entire face. His whole entire face, yeah.
So that's the time you said, oh,
Yes.
that's that guy from Save-A-Lot.
Yeah.
But the side of his face didn't draw that to your attention.
No, not that evening.
All right, thank you.
Redirect?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, you're excused.
Okay.
It's now 10:40 a.m. I think we'll take the morning recess at this time for 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, don't discuss this case with anyone else. Continue to abide by the court's general admonitions. Don't let anybody discuss it with you. Court's in recess. Well, gentlemen, if you're just hanging around and you're not going to use the restroom, let me ask a question of defense counsel while we're giving the jury a break, and this won't take more than a minute in case you guys do need to go use the restroom or take a break or stretch your legs. We had a video pretrial Friday, and the court authorized the expenditure of some monies for a preliminary analysis of some MRI data with the additional expenditure of monies keyed upon the court receiving a report concerning that preliminary analysis. I haven't seen anything yet. Does defense counsel have any idea where Mindset is at with that preliminary analysis?
Judge, I know that on Monday, in fact, if you recall, that's why this is the reason why we couldn't have a Skype during Monday morning, is that Dr. Fahey was testifying.
Mm-hmm.
In our case Monday morning. So I sent a text out on the way home last night, when I left here, just to
Sure.
what the schedule was. And I haven't heard back by this morning.
Okay. Well, if you hear anything back, I'd appreciate knowing, just to be updated, because I got the impression on Friday that the Mindset preliminary analysis could be done in a couple, 3 days. So I'm starting to look out for information. And then I'd like to make a record of what that information is when I get it, so, okay, thank you.
That's the same reason I made contact this.
Okay, thank you.
Judge?
Yes.
while we're on scheduling subjects, you had made mention at some point last week of not having a hotel available for sequestering.
The first weekend in May.
Okay. So when is it, would we then do close and charge when the hotel's available?
Well, basically, we just need to get through the weekend because of an AU track meet.
Right.
All the hotels are booked, so I think that's Friday, May 4th through Sunday.
Okay.
And the hotel's available on Monday, so I'm hoping that we aren't doing closing arguments and charge until that Monday, whatever date that
I
is.
guess that's my question, is are we just planning on doing closing and charge Monday?
That would be my intention. If we get done Wednesday, we can take a couple of days off.
That's,
I need to talk to you guys about the charge anyway because of that earlier issue we talked about.
and I filed a memorandum, or it's being filed, I think we electronically transmitted a copy.
Okay. I mean, your concerns are a little different than the concerns I was expressing, so.
Well,
But they're all issues involving that same language, so.
I just, for scheduling purposes, each night and figuring out assets if we're.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah, if we get done early, we're just going to avoid that weekend. So we'll probably figure on just giving them a couple of days off. That'll give them time to collect things for sequestration, because what we do is we give them some sequestration instructions and what you can bring, what you can't. That gives them a little time to,
So it gives me an idea of how to structure
sure.
my time.
So basically you're telling me we're catching back up with your schedule?
I'm telling you, I got 2 more witnesses scheduled for this morning, and everybody's coming back at 1.
How long are your morning witnesses?
Well, to be quite honest, we're going to start for the rest of the day trying some break-ins at Charles Mill and B&E. But I think I can get.
After 1, you mean?
Yeah, I've got 2 coming now on the one trailer, and then 1 o'clock
Oh.
is the other. And some stuff, so.
Yeah, if we finish early for lunch, the jury will just get a longer lunch hour.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been in trials before. Call your next witness and rest. That's why I like that. I'm nervous about that. Sure. Mr. Whitney's here.
Well,
I
If-
feel
if-
the need to ask an hour of superfluous questions.
if I sense you're in the middle of a subject and you want to take a 2-week break to get your next, or a 2-day break to get your next witness or something, yeah, there's going to be a line I draw, but it's not, I would hate to lose the better part of a day just because we're waiting on a witness. But we're going to have, that issue with experts. Okay. Well, now that there's been a record of that, can he be effective as counsel today for the?
We're going to put that on the record later.
She put it on the record. She's typing away there. Can you hear the testimony okay, Mr. Whitney?
Most I can, Jim. My other one's not working. One's broken. This thing isn't working. But they keep talking over to the jury.
Yeah, we got to keep them focused on, keep them facing you, Mr. Tennell.
I can even understand Sonny for the most part.
Very good. It's now 10:59 a.m. Back on the record in 16 CRI 187, State of Ohio versus Shawn Grate. All 12 jurors and 5 alternates have returned to the courtroom. Defendants present with counsel as our counsel for the State of Ohio. Mr. Tennell, you may call the state's next witness at this time.
We'll call Pam Miley, Your Honor.
Ma'am, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give this matter to be the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Would you tell us your name, please?
Pamela Miley,
And where do you live?
401 North Main Street, Polk.
And how long have you been in Polk?
A little over a year.
All right. Before Polk, where'd you live?
In Ashland,
In the city?
yes.
And at some point, did you have a camper down at Charles Mill?
Yes, I did.
How long did you have a camper at Charles Mill?
Almost 3 years,
And did you eventually sell it?
yes.
Okay. When did you sell the camper?
Last summer,
So summer of, let's see, 2017.
yes.
And where was it located? Within
In
the
Charles Mill at the time.
Do you remember the lot number?
It was like 206, 306, something like that.
Okay,
I could drive you there.
you could take us there. So during the 3 years you had this camper, what would you do down there?
Camped, fished, took grandkids, took friends, family.
And how often would you go?
Actually, from April 1st through October 31st, we hardly ever left.
Okay. And I guess describe the camper.
2 bedrooms, sleeps 9, full bathroom. It wasn't new, but it was in great shape. We bought it from an older lady. Full patio. Just, I mean, you could move into it and stay the whole time you were there.
And how many people could live in it?
Total of 9.
Wow.
Yes.
You get 9 people in there.
We had the queen-size bedroom, the couch folded down, the table folded down, and then there was what's called a triple bunk in the back. It was 3 bunk beds. So a total of 9.
Okay. Is there also kitchen and bathroom facilities?
Yes.
And at some point in June of 2016, did you arrive at your camper and find something amiss?
Yes, I did. I went out to check it for the weekend because we were going to be bringing out the grandkids. Unlocked it, didn't notice anything. I mean, from outside, I didn't notice anything. Opened it, and first thing I spotted when I opened the door was one of the cabinet doors was open. And I thought, well, hurry to leave. We didn't close something. Stepped further into the camper, and every cabinet door was open. And I stepped back out, and that's when I called the Rangers.
Okay. Do you remember the date?
It was like June 24th. It was like right around Father's Day weekend.
Okay. And how long had you been gone from the camper?
Not quite a week. We had been out the weekend prior with some friends, cleaned up, and then went back home for work, and then I stopped back out by just to to basically do an inventory list of what we needed to get us through the following week.
And would you just keep the camper sort of continuously supplied?
Yeah, starting in March, we started buying stuff, and, I mean, you could go out there and fix any meal humanly possible. It was stocked like a kitchen pantry.
And when you called the Rangers, what happened?
They sent a ranger out. He came out, did a walkthrough, did a walk around the camper to make sure it was secure. We found there was the back door had been kicked outward, so they had gained entrance through the back window that they, I guess, popped because it's one of the crank out ones. They popped it, came in, and then kicked their way out when they were done taking what they wanted.
Okay, so it came in through a window, out through the door.
Yes,
And was anything missing?
everything. They left, I think, a couple cans of beans in the cabinet and the tub of butter in the refrigerator. Toiletries, everything. I mean, even if it was used, was gone. Yes.
Like cleaned out the refrigerator?
Cleaned out the refrigerator, cleaned out the pantry. I mean, there was no food left.
Okay.
DVD player, movies,
Did you have a TV to go with the
a
DVD?
little
player?
black and white one, but
It was gone too?
it was gone too.
Okay. So what'd the Rangers do?
Came in, took photographs and stuff, gave me a number to call and said that they'd be contacting me. I know there was a sheriff's officer that did a drive-by at one point and asked, you know, was we okay and stuff, but other than the photographs and the written statement that I gave, I mean, I was contacted later on by the Rangers to let me know that there had been articles found.
Okay.
So,
And when they contacted you later, how much later?
The original phone call came about 2 weeks later, stating that they had found articles, and then it was probably a month from the original date that I actually got to speak to someone face-to-face.
Okay. And what'd they find?
They just said that on the DVD player, they had found fingerprints.
Okay.
And that the other articles had been obtained, or been found in the camper behind mine.
Okay. So the next door,
Yes, the next door neighbor camper.
okay. But not the next door neighbor?
No.
Who was the next door neighbor?
It was an elderly couple.
Okay.
They were only out on the weekends to mow grass.
And you didn't think the elderly couple popped out your window and climbed
No.
through? Okay. I guess you said articles, the DVD player,
Yes.
you found it. Did you get it back?
No.
No.
It was retained for evidence.
And what other articles?
Bits and pieces of clothing. There was a chainsaw, DVDs. A majority of it was food and toiletries.
Oh, okay. So you thought all your,
Yes.
the DVDs and everything ended up in the next door?
Yes,
trailer?
it did.
Okay. Show defense counsel, let's see, 216, 217, 218, 219, and 220. And if we may just publish these as we go, Your Honor.
Any objection, counsel? Mr. Whitney? Okay, then you may.
All right, I'll show you 216. What's that a photo of?
That is a photo of the bedroom window that was, the crank was busted on, that they had gained entrance to the camper.
Okay, so it's, when you say a crank, it's got like a little
Yes,
wheel thing?
yes, and the windows fold outward.
The entire thing there, it looks like it's partitioned?
It's partitioned. It's
just the
two
bottom.
pieces,
So the bottom cranks out as we're looking?
both bottom and top, but they crank out separately.
Oh, okay. So which one was broken?
When you break the crank, it takes both of them out,
Oh, I
so
see.
you're able to open both windows freely.
Okay. And how big is that window?
Each pane of glass, I'd say 3 feet by maybe 8 inches tall. They're not
Okay.
real big.
So they're not real big. How
No.
high up off the ground?
I couldn't reach it, and I'm 5 foot tall. It's, that end of the camper sat over, I guess you'd call it the embankment that went down over to the water's edge.
Okay, that's my next question, is where is
Yes.
it located?
Tree line, it's basically dark, it's the farthest part from the road.
So can you see this corner of the camper
No.
from the road?
No,
Okay, so it's secluded,
yes,
and it's not real wide.
no.
I'll show you what we marked as 217.
Mhm.
What are we looking at there?
That is a picture of my kitchen. And it looks back to the far bedroom in the back is where the bunk beds are, where the windows broke.
Okay. Is that the condition that you left it in?
No, it's not.
Does that look more like how you found it when you called the Rangers?
That's more like how I found it, minus, well, all the cabinet doors were open at the time.
Okay. So some of them got shut to take the picture?
Yes, so they could do their walkthrough and stuff. You had to close some of the doors going down the hallway.
But you can't walk down the hallway if the doors are open?
No,
Okay. So those dishes all got piled up in there by somebody?
yes. The dishes in the dish drain were from our prior weekend, but those in the sink were new.
Those are new?
Yes.
Have they been used?
Yes.
Okay, so what did you conclude from that?
Someone came in and had a meal and left.
Okay. And left with all your food?
Yes.
And where do you keep the food?
Above the sink area is where the dishes were, and then there's a 4-foot-long cabinet that runs the length above the couch that had canned goods in it. And then going down the hall, on the right-hand side, you have the refrigerator and freezer, and then just on the other side of that was a floor-to-ceiling pantry door that was fully stocked.
Okay. And it was empty?
It was empty.
Save a couple cans of meat?
Yes.
Show you State's Exhibit 218. What are we looking at there?
You're looking at what would have been my TV and DVD player had they been there.
Okay. And this is located where?
As soon as you step through the front door, it's on your right-hand side.
And on the right-hand side of this picture, is that the door?
Yes, it is.
And was the door damaged?
This was the front door. No, the back door was back in the back bedroom where the window was broken.
So there's two doors?
Yes, there's 2
I
doors.
see. That back door, was it damaged?
Yes.
What was wrong with it?
When they basically had to kick their way out because it's a key lock. You can't just flip a switch and get out. The deadbolt from it literally ripped the aluminum from the outside of the camper.
And is it also, I guess, do you step out then on the back side of the camper?
You're at the far end of the camper, but you're visible from the road.
Okay. It's just around the corner then?
Yes,
From the window we saw in the last exhibit?
yes.
Was that flashlight and it looks like a pair of pliers,
Those are mine,
those are yours?
yes.
Were they out when,
They were
They
sitting
already
on
there?
top of the TV when we left.
okay, so when you left, they sit on top of the TV?
Yes, I always keep the flashlight handy so that if I go in the evenings, I have light when I first get there.
Okay. And now just the flashlight and pliers remain?
Yes.
Show you Exhibit 219. What are we looking at there?
This is the very back bedroom that they gained entrance through. It is under the middle bunk. It was a set of doors. One door got literally ripped off, either going in or out, I'm unsure.
Okay. That cabinet, though, doesn't lock,
No, it does not.
so there'd be no need to rip the door off to get in,
No,
but the door was broken.
yes.
And then were things missing from under there as well?
Sheets and blankets,
Okay. They were gone too?
yes.
Show you State's Exhibit 220. What are we looking at there?
I do believe that is the camper that sits right behind where mine was.
Okay, can we see your camper in that?
Yes, you can. It has the blue awnings on the left side of the photo.
Okay. And is this the camper of the older couple?
Yes, it is.
All right, and it's your understanding that some of your things were found within that camper?
Yes,
Okay. But we can see your camper there, right next to it?
yes.
And then the window that the individual that came into your camper went through would be on the far side then?
It would be closer to the trees. Our camper's backed in the same direction theirs is,
Okay.
so it would be basically catty corner. You see the piece of the blue awning, and then the empty window. That empty window is that back bedroom. It is the window that goes around the back of that.
State's Exhibit 216, 217, 218, 219, and 220.
Yes.
Do they all fairly and accurately represent the scene
Yes, it did.
as you found it that day?
Yes.
Now, in that week that you were gone, between you and your friends cleaned up and left, and you came in to find your trailer in this state, did you give anyone permission to enter your trailer?
No.
Anybody permission to crawl through your window?
No.
Take your stuff?
No.
Damage your trailer?
No.
And then you said you sold your trailer in 2017?
Yes.
Okay. Why'd you sell?
Separation.
Okay. So just wasn't going to be able to maintain that?
Correct.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Cross-examine.
I have no questions of this witness, Judge, thank you.
Thank you, man. You're excused.
Donovan Linder, you're on.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and the same truth, so help you God? Except seat, make sure you be nice and
Would you tell us your name, please?
Donovan Linder.
And Mr. Linder, where do you currently work?
I work for a company called GBS Corp. In North Canton, Ohio.
And what does GBS Corp. do?
We do a bunch of different things. We deal in labeling, software, healthcare stuff, lots of different things.
Okay. Now, back in September or June of 2016, what were you doing?
I was working as a park ranger for Muskingum Watershed at Charles Mill Lake Park.
Okay, and how long had you been working as a park ranger?
I believe since February.
Okay. And when did you leave the park ranger business to go to North Canton?
September 2016.
Okay, so shortly after this.
Yes.
And were you working on June 23rd, 2016?
Yes, sir.
And where were you working?
Charles Mill Lake Park.
Okay. Now, where is Charles Mill Lake Park located?
It's located in, half of it is in Ashland County and half of it's in Richland County.
Okay. And in fact, there's sort of two campgrounds, one in Richland, one in Ashland.
Yes, sir.
What's the one in Richland called?
Eagle Point.
Okay. Now, on June 23rd, did you respond to a particular unit?
Yes, sir. I believe it was lot 306.
Okay. And which county is Lot 306 located in?
That's in Ashland County.
All right. And so, why'd you go to lot 306?
I received a call from the entrance booth that somebody was reporting that their camper had been broken into and burglarized.
Okay. And then that falls on you to investigate.
Yes, sir.
Now, are the rangers down there, are they certified peace officers in the
Yes,
state
sir.
of Ohio?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you were a certified peace officer in the state of Ohio at the time?
Yes, sir.
And you had been through the training in order to get that certification?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so when you got down to lot 306, what'd you do?
I was met by Pam Miley. She was the owner of the camper, and she had explained to me that someone had broken into her camper and there were things missing. She believed that they came in the back window, and there was a TV stolen, a DVD player, and a Husqvarna chainsaw.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, multiple food items as well.
Okay. And then what we'll just generally call stuff.
Yeah.
But the big ticket items, TV, DVD player, chainsaw.
And, yeah, the chainsaw.
Okay. Did you inspect this window?
Yes.
And what'd you think when you?
It didn't appear to be broken or anything. It just looked like somebody had found a way to jimmy rig it open and crawled through it.
Okay. So the window, is it glass or plexiglass?
Yeah, it's like plexiglass.
Yeah. It wasn't broken out or anything?
No.
But it looked like it had been jimmied some way for somebody to come through?
Yes.
Okay. Did you determine then that that's a potential point of entry for whoever your suspect is?
Yes.
Is there a back door?
I don't believe so. I think there was just the side door and then the back window.
Okay. You don't recall a back door?
No, sir.
All right. But it's been a while.
Yeah.
And you're not riding around there anymore?
No, sir.
As a ranger at Charles Mill, you riding around the campground pretty frequently?
Yes.
Okay. Did you already know Pam Miley?
I did not know.
Okay. So, what'd the inside of the trailer look like?
Things were scattered around. There were cabinets broken off. The doors were broken off the cabinets. There was a stand that the TV was sitting on, and it looked as though it was missing off there, and there was a flashlight sitting on that stand. And the cupboards in the kitchen were all tore open, and she had multiple like ingredients and stuff for food in plastic bins, and those were open and stuff thrown out of them, and just kind of looked like a ransacked trailer.
Okay. Show you Exhibit 216. You recognize that?
Yes, sir. That's the back window of the camper.
And that's where you determined your point of entry was?
Yes.
Show you State's Exhibit 217. What are we looking at there?
This is the kitchen area of the camper. I don't know if those dishes were already there before I got there, but if you can see the table to the left, you can see a little bit of the container that had the food in it, and it was opened up and had stuff all over the place.
Okay. There on the left?
Yes, sir.
Kind of by what looks like a rubber band, I guess, on the
Yes, sir.
counter there? Okay. Now, to figure out exactly what it's supposed to look like, we'd have to ask Pam Miley, right?
Right.
Okay. This is just how you found it when you got it.
Yes, sir.
Show you 218. What's 218?
That is the stand that the TV was sitting on originally, as Pam stated to me. And as you can see, there's a flashlight and looks like pliers.
Okay, and no TV.
Right.
It's all gone. 219.
This is one of the cabinets in the back end of the camper. As you can see, the door is broken off of it. I don't know. I don't think it was like that before, but I don't remember exactly.
Right. Again, we'd have to ask Pam to
Right.
figure out what is exactly in this. But that's how you found it on that day.
Yes, sir.
So what'd you do then? Did you take a report?
Yes, sir.
Did you in fact take these photographs?
Yes, sir.
At the time, did you find any sort of investigative leads?
No.
Okay. So it was, at the time you took the report, June 23rd?
Yes.
It was a mystery who had been in there.
Yes, sir. I believe Pam believed it might have been children. Like there was reports of kids doing things around the campground at the time, and I believe she thought that might be it. But other than that, we didn't have any suspects.
When you've got campers there, you're pretty full, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And there's kids doing stuff.
Yes, sir.
There's adults doing stuff too. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what you guys did there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But at the time, you didn't have any real leads?
No.
Decided to take some pictures and take the report from her?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Cross-examine?
No questions of this witness, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. Excuse, sir.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses this morning, Mr. Tennell?
Judge, that extends my available witnesses this morning.
And your next witness will be available.
I'm going to pass it over, coming at 1 o'clock.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 11:25, and as you can gather, we can give you a little extra longer lunch hour today. It's 11:25 a.m. We're going to take a lunch recess. Please be back in the jury room by 12:45, 1:45, so that we can get started promptly at 1 o'clock. And we'll make sure that the bailiffs are getting the room filled so we can start promptly at 1 as well and get you in here since we've got the extra time. Again, as with any break, don't discuss this case with anybody. Don't let anybody discuss it with you in any form or format. Don't read anything in the newspaper. Don't look at any media regarding this report. Please continue to abide by the court's admonitions. Anything further from counsel before we excuse the jury for lunch? No? Mr. Whitney?
Defense, Judge, thank you.
All right. Then, ladies and gentlemen, court will be in recess until promptly at 1 o'clock p.m.